Welcome back to this week's episode of The Executive, the show where we navigate the intricate world of executive leadership, exploring strategies, insights, and personal stories of successful professionals shaping the global business landscape. I'm your host, Majid, and today's episode is brought to you from the heart of Berlin at Asia Berlin 2024, where innovation, collaboration, and global ideas converge. This event brings together visionaries, entrepreneurs, leaders, governments from Asia and Europe to foster connections and drive forward in industries like health tech, AI, green tech, and beyond. In today's episode, I will be speaking with some of the brilliant people attending the summit, leaders who are shaping the future of their industries. Through a series of mini interviews, we will explore their insights, learnings, and visions for the future. From startups to investors and policymakers, you will hear firsthand what it takes to thrive in today's fast changing, interconnected world. So, whether you are here to be inspired, gain new perspectives, or just curious about the pulse of global innovation, stay tuned as we dive into the minds of these trailblazers. Let's get started without further ado. Now we have the legendary Marten, who's basically the CEO of Asia Berlin. So let's welcome him. Hallo und herzlich willkommen, Marten.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, you're surprised. You're like, oh, geez, this guy speaks German. I mean, I've been living here for 10 years, so yes, I do.
We can do this whole thing in
No,
German.
no. I mean, I do speak German, but I would rather do it in English because I don't think our listeners actually, all of them do speak German. It's
Either way.
but it's good to basically say hello or thank you in the language, the native language of the guest. But let's first understand what exactly is Asia Berlin.
So Asia Berlin is a project by the Berlin Senate, so from the city office. And the idea is that we connect the Berlin startup ecosystem with the startup ecosystems of Asian cities. So it's going across the board Asia. So I don't need to mention all the countries. You actually can see them here. But yeah, it's a wide range. The idea is actually both directional. So we help German companies to see opportunities in Asia, and that we do this mainly to open horizons and actually also show the markets that have actually really still like high growth opportunities. And then the second direction is that we help foreign founders to settle in Berlin and actually use Berlin as a gateway into European market.
Mm-hmm.
And Asia Berlin's organization is the way that we have the Berlin Senate, who funds an NGO. The NGO is non-profit, and that's the NGO that I'm heading. And this NGO then organizes the AsiaBerlin Summit, but also organizes delegation trips, organizes other events. We have networking, we have matchmaking. We go into the market. We also have an expansion lab that you can also see over here that is run with Better House together. So there's a lot of activities. We also have quite a huge community. A big part of it you can see here, but online community is even bigger, and that's basically what we handle within the Asia Berlin Forum, the non-profit. But the Senate also has a team on Asia Berlin. So these two teams basically merge into one, which gives us the opportunity to actually act as government as well as an NGO.
Cool. I mean, I met some startups, I met some corporates, so it has been very interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I registered for the event, I was expecting it will be like a messe kind of conference where it would be like a lot of stalls and then you don't have more than 5 minutes to talk to people. But I actually spent half an hour or more even talking to startups, digging deeper and talking with them, trying to understand what is the use case and like connecting the dots. And then when I'm seeing the whole matchmaking, actually, I'm seeing that. And I mean, you introduced me to Harish introduced me to 2 more people, 3 more people, and they introduced me to more people. So I mean, the whole chain of network, right? It's the beauty of this event. Like I was like, damn, this is pretty cool stuff. I mean, but for startups, right? I mean, what would be the value for them? I mean, if they come here,
So one is the side of government you mentioned, but what else would it be for them if they were to come to this event or so?
So it depends on where you are from as a startup. So if you're a startup, for example, from somewhere in Asia, then usually you come to Europe or you come to Berlin because you want market entry in Europe. Not always, but most of the times. And when you look into Europe, you have basically three big options. So you have London, you have Paris, and you have Berlin. Those are the three venture capital drivers inside Europe, and these are also the innovation drivers, basically. So if you look at London, then London has actually very good funding opportunities. So the venture capital spill is quite high still. So that's a good one. But London is outside of the EU. So whenever you start doing anything with the hardware, you have an issue, right? You need to import, export into EU. So then you have Paris. Paris is very good on lifestyle products, on fashion products, and so on. But it's not so strong if it comes to actually industry and B2B segment. So that is very strong in Germany. And Berlin is very special because Berlin, yes, it doesn't have its own industry that much, like for example South Germany, but it has innovation. And that comes from the history of Berlin. If you want, then we can dive into this deeper. But the history of Berlin makes it very, very, very strong on the talent side. We have an English-speaking ecosystem here, so it's very easy to connect to foreign founders, make your first steps. If you want to then sell to German consumers, then at that moment you have to start speaking German. But just to build your company, to get your team in order, and so on, that's all in English. And the founders in Berlin, actually, when you put them across the board, 56% of all founders in Berlin are not Germans. They're not German nationals, so more than half, right? So we have a huge international community. They're building something here, and that is the obvious value proposition also in AsiaBerlin, because we are a community of basically Asian founders in Germany, or Germans that are somehow engaged with Asia. And the USP of the AsiaBerlin Summit is also very clear. It's like we are literally in Europe the only startup conference that has a total Asia focus, right? So that's very clear. And for founders who come here, you find a home, you find a family. It's really like, I mean, you see it for yourself here. Yeah. You came the first time here. You will definitely come more often. True. You make friends here. You find like-minded people, and that is what a founder needs, right? You come in with a good idea. You come with innovation. You want this market, but you connect to AsiaBerlin, and you right away have like hundreds of other founders that are also Asian and also have done something here in Berlin. So that's a good pool of wisdom that you can harvest from.
Well, that's true, because when I was talking to the people, right, it didn't feel like they're new. It felt like, I'm in a homely environment, talking with family and so on. It's more cozy. The only thing missing was maybe, this a warm cup of orange ginger tea, the omate. But it was super cool. But one final question would be more towards what has your learning been? Because you have been organizing this for a long time. So I would love to understand, what is your single learning from this particular AsiaBerlin this year? Single learning, no more.
Okay, one thing was very odd and interesting for me, and that is we're running a tech conference here. So we're trying also new tech parts that we use in the conference. And this year we have the problem, you see the space, it's huge as halls, and they have echo. They have very bad sound, actually. Yeah. So that's why we were thinking, okay, let's bring some innovation. So we have our pitch stage over there, and the pitch stage has it's a relatively small area, but it's in one of these big halls. So if you put big speakers there, everything will be super loud. People would shout more, and then you have to make the speakers louder, and then the people shout louder, and so on. So everything's just super overwhelming. And there's a concept that is called silent conference, and that works the way that everybody uses an app, The speaker speaks in a microphone, then you get the signal into your app and you listen it on your Bluetooth headset, basically.
Okay.
So everybody who sits in the audience listens in and perfectly understands the person, but the person who doesn't need a microphone, so it doesn't need a speaker. So now we tried that on this event and it totally failed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I mean,
It's like there was absolutely no adoption on that side. We had like a big banner right next to the stage with a QR code where people can scan it, and the moderator saying it basically every half an hour, like, guys, scan this thing, like, use the app. Nobody used it. I saw like maybe 2 people in the audience using it. So that was an interesting learning from my side.
Oh, geez. I mean, I have been to conferences where it's like they provide the headphones. They're like standing outside. People are like literally holding headphone, and whenever you're about to enter, they're like, hey, listen using this, the blue channel, the red channel, or so on. Maybe try that approach. Maybe that works.
You can, but then you have to handle hardware.
Yeah, true.
You have to rent hardware. It's
It
like
becomes expensive,
overwhelming. Half of this stuff is not working, or it's like, or the microphones are very cheap. I mean, the headphones, and also you have to return all of that, and some people don't, and that's like, so this is all nightmare. But anyway, so some learnings here.
That was the learning. But just an FYI for everyone who's listening. So this particular spot where we are standing, right? That was a suggestion by Marten. So I was first a little worried when I talked with Marten about, hey, I want to record an episode and so on. I was like, okay, where should I go? And Marten was like, you know what? Just go there. It's like very beautiful view. And when I came here, I saw it's really amazing view, right? And it's very quiet here. I mean, if you go to the halls, it's like a lot of people talking and so on. And another thing, what in the morning Marten did was like he suggested about Christmas markets. So I'm actually going to ask him something about that because he's pretty good with suggestions. So what is the one activity? I mean, you told there are 4 Christmas markets nearby. Favorite thing that you actually love to go to do in a Christmas market?
On a Christmas market?
On a Christmas market.
So I love these caramelized almonds. They are just like the best. So for me, it's like getting like one of the. I don't drink alcohol, otherwise I would drink the Glühwein, the mulled wine. But I have one of this, and I buy one bag of this, and I would walk through the Christmas market and eat that. That's my thing.
That's me as well, by the way, because I also don't drink. So it's like literally either that or these chestnuts.
Yeah.
So
also
I buy like a bag of those. It's so good. Like
it's so winter.
It's so winters, because I tried the what's the thing called, like the juice that's warm, right? It's not alcohol Glühwein, but it's non-alcoholic. But it's juice, right? They just boil the juice basically.
Yes.
I don't like it. It's okay, but I like these almonds. But thank you so much again, Marten. This was super fun. So I would love to say thank you in German. Vielen Dank.
Yeah, sehr gut.
But it was very much fun, and I hope you had fun, and thank you so much for organizing the conference, and I hope we see each other again next year.
Yes, we do. We do.
Cool.
And come to me if you want to ask anything about Berlin.
Yeah, links would be mentioned, by the way. AsiaBerlin, his LinkedIn, so feel free to connect. He's a super reachable guy. I mean, I have literally approached him. Very friendly, very helpful. So just reach out if you have any questions about the event or something, or if you want to contribute. By the way, they are always looking for partners, corporations, sponsorships as well. So just reach out.
Right. Follow LinkedIn. There you also see the opportunities for delegation trips, or even signing up on the AsiaBerlin Summit, which, by the way, is free. It's a free conference. Ticket doesn't cost any money. So
thank you so much again. So now I have Dr. Rainer Seider with me, who is currently working for the governing mayor of Berlin, the International Affairs Unit. So hallo und herzlich willkommen.
Hallo, herzlich willkommen. Freue mich sehr.
So we are going to do it in English, but I just want to welcome you in German because I feel it's a nice way to greet people in the native language.
Thank you very much.
But I have you here, and I would love to understand what's your perspective about this whole AsiaBerlin today. How did you feel? It's the second day today.
Yeah.
So how did you like it so far?
I liked it a lot. It's a very good vibe in here. It's an old building, but it's with fresh people and fresh ideas of cooperating between Asia and Berlin for startups and investors and ecosystem builders. So I think it's an exciting atmosphere. The house was very full yesterday. Today it's a bit calmer, but there are lots of exciting talks in between, networking. So that's what all about AsiaBerlin.
And I realized that when I was talking with a few different people, I realized that this is your office. This building actually your office, right?
Yeah.
But that's a pretty cool office, I must say. It's a pretty dope office.
Yeah.
I mean, before you were recording with a different view, so people could see the whole staircase, and it's a pretty luxurious building, if I may say.
It is, of course, but I don't work, of course, at the staircase. And my office is a bit smaller, but it's a very nice office anyhow. So it's if you stand in front of the building and you see the tower in the middle, and then you see the left corner, second floor, and there is my office.
But
so it's the corner office. So I have the view to the Marienkirche and to the television tower. So it's super beautiful.
Do you see the Christmas market from your office?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, geez, that's a nice view.
Yeah.
I mean, especially now it's winter, so it's like the whole thing sunsets early.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But unfortunately, yeah, that's true. I mean, normally in summers the days are long, right?
Yeah.
But now, quickly talking about what was your biggest learning from the whole event? Like one learning that you say, you know what, I need to take this with me.
I think it's so we're connecting Asia with Berlin, but there's happening as much in between Asian representatives and Berlin startup ecosystem as between the both sides. So yesterday I had a startupper from India who was so happy that he met Varun from Paytm Services. From India as well. Because and they connected and they maybe they would do something together. And then I met people from Berlin who would offer something for Berlin. So also, of course, it's not meant to mingle between Berlin and India, but that's also one of the collateral advantages of the summit, which you don't attend, but of course you're happy if it happens.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Normally, I've attended a lot of messes, a lot of conferences in Messe Berlin and Messe Hanover. Been all over the place, but this was very different. I mean, I was sitting down chatting with like startups for like half an hour or something, and I was able to dig deeper as well. It was very different. It didn't feel like I'm at a messe. Did not. I'm not gonna lie. It felt more like, you know what, a bunch of people who know each other. You know, sitting together, having coffee, tea, you know, and talking about what they've been up to. How can they support each other? Which I think is super cool. I think it's a good ambience, so to say, and it's also good to see that how European startups can collaborate amongst themselves and also with Asian startups and so on, and also Asian startups coming to Europe as well with the technology and also other perspectives. But anything you would like to say for especially startups that basically you think can actually get value or from Asia Berlin, like who should actually come next year? So I'm definitely coming.
So first of all, I would like to say that I agree completely. That's more. So we frame it more as a family event, maybe. Although we had 600-700 people yesterday in the city, all different people. So it's not a family, but the core of Asia Berlin is a family of Asia Berlin ambassadors and people who are very much committed, and that's the vibe that you feel all over. And of course, the group of people I know already for the last years running Asia Berlin. So it's growing and growing. So there is a feeling of coming home, meeting like a family gathering. So you have probably the biggest family gathering we have here with Asia Berlin. So very committed people who want to do something insightful, something also impactful for Berlin, Asia, for the world. And I think that's in fact that's also my interest. So it's not about technology, but about meeting, connecting people who can improve the condition of people, not for personal profit, but for an impact. So I always try to have, also with we have health tech, we have mobility, we have green tech. So we try to address topics that are important for the planet. And that's also the type of people I want to. I don't want to have the people who are looking for a direct profit. Of course, it's okay if you want to do business. That's the idea of a startup, is to do business, to scale, to grow, and everything. But for me, it's important that there is a mission also behind of a collaborative thinking and of also having always in mind also to what is the impact for the society and the planet.
I mean, that's very important now, especially also considering the whole compliance perspective, the CSRD, I believe.
Yeah.
in Europe, and it's important that we need to think about society as well. But thank you so much, Rainer. That was actually fun discussing with you, talking with you. But thank you so much again. Vielen Dank, as they say.
Sehr gerne, it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Joining us is Rehman. He's the founder of Rapid Venture Lab, and also he is an ambassador for AsiaBerlin Summit. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Kaise Majid?
I am good. Kya hai aapka?
Alhamdulillah. All good.
That's good. So, I mean, I would love to understand what is Rapid Venture Lab.
So, Majid, if I have to explain it very concisely and briefly, Rapid Venture Lab is your one-stop shop to create ventures on an accelerated pace. And what we do is that we also build venture studios for corporate and family companies. And the whole idea of venture building is to de-risk the process of building a venture, building a tech startup or any other startup.
And how many have you done so far?
I've been doing it since 2008 in different capacities. Started in Pakistan, then I came to Europe in Berlin, and ever since I worked in different settings as a founder myself. I worked with different family companies, venture builders, and I have built ventures in Germany and Saudi Arabia. I have also scaled ventures as well. So it's not just about building ventures on a very initial scale. It's also about growing those ventures into growing companies. So I have done all of that.
So when you say growing companies, we are talking about hyper scale, right? Like putting it on steroids and blasting it for revenue, for profitability, because I think the biggest struggle any startup has is profitability.
Exactly. And this is something that we do in the very beginning. Normally what people do is that they come up with an idea and that they want to build the company around it. And more often than not, what happens is that they build a product that nobody wants. And that's where we venture builders, we come in. We want to make sure that the product or the idea or the startup that you're going to build, it should have a market first. If it doesn't have the market, if you cannot acquire customers, you don't build it. And after having this desirability element, we do the viability element, and that's where the profitability comes in. So the first step is always, is there a customer? Yes. Is it going to be profitable? Yes. And then you think about, can you technically actually build it? Is there going to be a technical feasibility and a legal feasibility around it? I think most of us from Pakistan, we see a lot of engineers there. I'm also an engineer myself. And we have a natural inclination that we want to build the product first. So before talking to the customer, before checking the profitability, we always thinking about, okay, let's go into the details of the product, technical details, and try to build it. And that also always has a risk of falling in love with your idea, which is a no-go when it comes to venture building, because you need to build fast, and that also means that you have to kill fast.
True. I mean, I remember the phrase like, it's my baby. Always
Exactly.
Founders are using that,
yeah,
right?
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Red flag, yes.
I mean, you can feel the passion of how passionate you are about venture building. But would love to understand, because we can definitely sit probably an hour or two just discussing Venture Lab. That's my feeling.
Exactly.
I hope it's not wrong.
No.
But would love to understand, how has your experience been with the AsiaBerlin Summit this year?
This year in particular, I think it was it's even better than the last one. Last one was also great, but this time I see that we have changed the structure a bit, and there is many more platforms for people to interact. And I have personally spoken with a lot of people who are very happy, especially the people who travel from different countries in search of customers and potential investors. They have had some really good introductions and good meetings. And so I think this one has been better than the previous ones, and we are looking forward to the next one and making it even better.
A sign, basically, I feel that you're thinking of it as a venture as well, that you're consistently improving. So, I mean, this is my first time at AsiaBerlin. It's very different. I was expecting, that it would be like the same, like a messe thing where there would be like a lot of stalls, but it's very few stalls. So I literally had the time, and I had like half an hour discussions with the startups. It was super, super cool. And the startups were also very good. Right? So, and now brings me to my final question, which is, what would be your one single thing that you might say, this is one thing I might take with me for Rapid Venture Labs, or maybe personally? Like, for example, some other people said some very interesting things today.
Well, Majid, thank you for asking this question. And I have been reflecting on it. It's the second day today. We still have a few more days to go. There are going to be a lot of satellite events. I heard there are about 16 events in total. So going back to your question, one learning. So I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He flew from a different country all the way just for this event. And I asked him, okay, how's it going? And I found him very happy and very relaxed and very excited. And I asked him, okay, what was the outcome? And he said that we actually logged a few customers. Nice. And my biggest learning there is because we invite startups from all over Asia. We invite startups from Berlin as well. And everybody asks us that, what is it that we're going to get out of it? And then somehow, you feel, okay, you have to make something happen for them. But what I learned, if you come prepared, you have a strategy, you understand the landscape here, then success is going to be yours. So you will actually get what you're looking for, but you need to be very prepared for this and you need to do your work before coming here. I think this is one of those few events where so we don't make many money out of it. It's sponsored by the state. We have some corporate sponsors as well. But the whole idea is to provide this platform. It's a no-profit platform, and the whole idea is to bring those ecosystems together so they can have access to all the stakeholders, all the potential partners in one place. And this is something very unique about AsiaBerlin. And my biggest learning is that we are very well positioned, and we are a group of very ambitious and passionate people who are willing and excited to make it happen over and over again.
The whole point is also learning and also improving the whole show, right? But with that, I would like to say thank you so much. बहुत shukriya aapka.
It's a pleasure.
You contributed towards the episode. Would love to also learn. If you're interested in learning more about Rapid Venture Labs, the links would be mentioned in the description. Also, LinkedIn from Haris would be mentioned there, so you can actually directly connect with him and also ask him questions if you have any, because we were trying to compile a lot of different perspectives into this single episode. So if you have more questions, feel free to connect with him. And he's a super nice guy, by the way. I was literally eating his head for yesterday for like over an hour. A brilliant guy, very experienced and very, very friendly. So highly recommend connect with him. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Majid.
Now we have Manori from PlanetPulse, and we would love to understand what she does. It was like I actually asked her, how do you say welcome or hello in what was the language? Sinhalese. It was Ayo Bovam.
Ayu Boban.
Ayu Boban.
Boban.
Ayo Boban.
Yes, may you live long.
May you live long.
Yeah.
Cool. So tell us more about PlanetPulse. What is PlanetPulse?
So PlanetPulse is a startup that we are developing a solution to manage and to report your environment, social and governance reporting for the regulators and for many different stakeholders, which is a compulsory requirement now even in Europe and many parts of the world.
The CSRD something, right?
Yes, CSRD is the European Commission's regulations now in effect from next year. For almost 50,000 companies across the EU will have to report under CSRD.
So is it based on like company size or like even
Both.
startups have to do it?
No, so it depends. There are three different criteria: revenue, people size of the employer company, and some other criteria I forget exactly. But if you meet two of them, you are supposed to meet different based on your revenue size. Yeah.
So if you're a company in Europe and you need to comply and you're interested in learning more, you should connect with her. I will mention the LinkedIn and also the website, so you can send her a message. So make sure you're compliant, because CSRD, I know it's a very big thing, and the whole compliance is actually very important. And sometimes companies don't even know how to measure the data, right?
Most of the time, yes. Right now, they're all doing it on a Excel or very manual process.
Geez, why am I not surprised? I'm not surprised. Like, I've seen a lot of spreadsheets. But talking about the event, how was your experience with the whole AsiaBerlin? Because you're also an ambassador, right?
Correct, yes. Yeah, so I think this year has been really by far the best. I've been here for now almost 4 AsiaBerlin summits. The first one I attended was actually during COVID, which was a completely different experience because we had to maintain so many COVID regulations. I was the ambassador of Sri Lanka to Germany at the time. So from the embassy we had some participation. The following year was a little bit more relaxed with less regulations, but still under COVID, 2021 really. And then, this is my 4th year, and now this by far I feel has been the most exciting AsiaBerlin Summit that I've been to.
Nice. I love the venue, to be honest. The venue is cool. The people are really nice. And now I learned there's a startup for ESG. I'm going to definitely bug you afterwards. But what was your biggest learning about the whole, like what was the single one thing that you say, you know what, I'm going to take this with me, personally or professionally? What would be that one thing be?
I think in the end it's all down to human connection. And that's the biggest thing I feel always every year on year, a conference of this nature, and especially Asia Berlin, where it's a lot of volunteers who we all volunteer to make this happen. And our purpose is to connect Asia and Berlin. And from being on both sides of the coin, so to speak, I find that human connection is the most important factor at Asia Berlin. And I think people go away with knowing people more and building that network thereafter. Yeah.
Cool. No, that's true. I mean, I don't feel like this is an event, to be honest. It more feels like people I know. I'm meeting them again for like discussing what they're working on and so on. It felt like that for me.
Yes.
And it's my first time. I'm not gonna lie. It's my first time.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I'm at a messe or a conference where I need to like collect cards. And the thing is the network effect. For example, I met Haris. Haris connected me with you, and then he was like, meet this person, and I was like,
absolutely, and that's how I think is the value of Asia Berlin for me, because everybody is personally very keen to make sure things happen, and we are all committed to doing that to promote this network and relationship between Asia and Berlin. Yeah.
Cool. No, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Majid.
It was nice talking with you.
Thank you very much.
So now we have Aparna from Ahana, and let's talk to her about what is Ahana first.
Hi, namaste, apa khabar? My name is Aparna and I'm founder of Ahana. Ahana is a multi-brand showcase originating from Indonesia, and we work with different small and medium businesses that basically stand for culture, environment and social sustainability. Each of them is looking to solve a problem, and we started last year and now we are already 28 different brands, right from different categories, fashion to home and living to accessories to personal care. And we are looking to access market together, B2B and B2C, online and offline.
And you are based from Indonesia, right?
Yes, so we have started from Indonesia, though Ahana actually, since I am Indian, Ahana means the first light of the sun. The first ray of the sun. And another deep meaning is that it's forever evolving, and that's the concept we want to keep with Ahana, that we are forever evolving and forever staying relevant.
But shouldn't all businesses be forever evolving? I mean,
indeed, actually that's a very valid point, Majid, but it doesn't always happen, right? So I think that's why when I founded Ahana, I just felt that we needed to stay relevant while at the same time we needed to stand for something, and that's what Ahana is.
So if someone wants to buy something, for example, if someone is sitting in Germany or any other country, can they basically go to a website or something, or how does that work? Or it's not for consumers right now?
Oh, no, definitely it is for consumers. In fact, that's the first thing we nail. And just go on to ahana.co, ahana.co. We ship globally, right? And it's available anywhere and everywhere, wherever shipping is allowed. And we'll be happy for people to look and shop on ahana.co. And of course, if you want more, we also have our B2B catalog updated, uploaded on the website, and they can reach out for further discussions.
So her LinkedIn and the website would be mentioned on the YouTube video and also Spotify. But now I would love to understand, so you came here to AsiaBerlin Summit, right? So how was your experience with the whole event? Be very honest.
Yes, so we came here through the GIIC incubator, so which is Habibi Incubation and Innovation Lab out of Indonesia, and support from GIIC, right? And honestly came with not too many expectations, so it's been interesting so far, though I would love that the pitching sessions would have been in places where it was less noisy so that people could listen to our pitches. And I was hoping to have more interactions with people from different parts of the world. Somehow I've not been able to do that so much. I see certain countries missing, so I'm hoping that they show up next year. For example, Vietnam, Thailand, etc. But I have overall really enjoyed being here as a first timer.
I mean, now I'll tell you something very surprising. Berlin is the largest community of Vietnamese outside of Vietnam.
Indeed, and I discovered that. A few minutes ago when somebody stopped by the booth, and that's why I was extremely surprised to not see a strong Vietnamese representation. While being here for the past 4 or 5 days, I've actually come across a Vietnamese restaurant every 200 meters.
True.
And I was actually very surprised because I was expecting more of Chinese and Indian, and that's when I came to know that because of the history of Berlin, East Berlin, Vietnamese community is very strong here. So I'm hoping to see be more representation. But I do like the concept of AsiaBerlin Summit, and I hope it continues to happen and fosters collaboration. One request though, it'll be great if it's in September and not in November. Better weather so that we can explore this city even more. Yeah.
I mean, you get to see the Christmas market. So they are like literally a walking distance. I think they said about 4 Christmas markets.
Yeah.
So the Christmas markets of Germany are probably one of the best in Europe.
Agree.
And the ones here, like literally around the corners, they're pretty good. So if you go a little bit far towards Potsdamer Platz, that's the one I like. I don't know why, I just like it more.
Yeah.
But now from the event, there has to be something which would be like a key takeaway for you. So what would be that single key takeaway be for you as a business, as a person, that you would actually implement or maybe take it with you for the rest of your life?
So, for sure, I discovered that Berlin is definitely out there in terms of conscious consumerism, and there's a definite market here. So, I'm hoping to explore pathways, right, for sure. And I also, what I like is how Germany and, of course, Berlin has sort of kept their history intact in a way while not losing the touch with the current and the future. So I think that's the second takeaway, because I liked how it's been preserved, and it's also not super perfect, but it has its rawness, and I think that's what I like about it, because I'm from Mumbai, another very lively, evolving city. Yeah.
True. Mumbai is also like a food hub, right?
Yes, indeed. Mumbai is a food hub, and honestly, and I live in Jakarta, right? So even Jakarta has its interesting quirkiness. So I think Jakarta can take a page or two from Berlin on this. And by the way, I discovered a few weeks ago that actually Jakarta and Berlin are sister cities. So I think we need to do more. Yes.
How? Explain.
Yes, I don't know either. So I discovered that we are supposedly sister cities. Remember the sister cities concept. And it's supposedly these two cities are. So I think we need to do more.
True.
And I'm hoping something more comes out of it, though we've had a strong Indonesian representation. So if you've noticed, a lot of Indonesian students are here. They've been coming to this summit and also to our booth. So and I think the embassy is also quite active. So I'm hoping we do more, like getting Germany to Indonesia and vice versa, because I think there are so many things that can be explored. Yeah.
No, true. That's. I saw a lot of people wearing batik, for example. So it was very interesting. I mean, Indonesia itself as a culture is really beautiful. Like the food is good. I mean, the clothes and so on, they're really vibrant, so to say. And it's also the people are very nice.
Yes, I agree.
Very respectful.
Indonesians are amongst the nicest people in the world. I can vouch for that. I've been there 7 years. So very nice, very kind, and quite fun. Yeah.
That's Aparna from Ahana. If again you want to order, you can actually go to the website that would be mentioned in the description. So feel free, or if you want to understand about the business, or if you want to collaborate with them, her LinkedIn would be mentioned in the description. So feel free, connect with her and see how this basically evolves. Thank you so much again, or rather I should say terima kasih or shukriya.
Yeah, terima kasih kembali. So thank you to you too. Dhanyavad and shukriya for having me, and Dankeschön rather.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. So thank you, and I've really enjoyed chatting with you, Majid.
Likewise. Thank you, Aparna. Now we have Dmitry from TechBiz Global. Let's hear what do they do.
So we are an international recruitment company. We are based in Berlin. We have more than 100 clients, mostly working with startups in more than 20 countries already. So we provide recruitment services in different models, including hiring tech people, for example, engineers, CTOs, different solution architects, and so on. But also recently we started to do non-tech positions, like, for example, helping Asian companies to expand to Europe and hiring for them sales teams. So we are a recruitment company.
Nice. I mean, I talked to you as well, and also your colleague yesterday. You have big numbers. I mean, the numbers I got from her were like huge. It's not just a recruitment company. It's a pretty big recruitment company. Yeah. I mean, which is cool. But now talking about the whole AsiaBerlin, like how has your experience been attending this conference?
Yeah, so far it was good. So I'm already second day here. We have a booth, and so far it was a lot of great conversations, especially with different partners from Asia, from South Korea, from Vietnam, from Japan, for example, right? We found different ways how to collaborate with programs in Asia, actually, together providing different services and mentorships to startups in Asia. So far it was very good, actually.
Mm-hmm. And what would be single most valuable thing that you learned from this conference? Like one thing that you say, you know what, Dmitry, I'm going to take this with me for my business or for myself personally?
If we are talking about the Asia specifically, I think in Asia many countries are very traditional, and you simply need to meet them physically. And this is exactly the learning, right? I mean, because there's many companies in Europe, right? So we are doing business sometimes remote and so on. But with Asia, right? So a lot of people actually prefer to meet you physically, right? So either in Singapore, we were in Singapore like 3 weeks ago, either here in Berlin in the summit here in Berlin. But this is quite a learning, right? So because a lot of business actually done by shaking hands and by joint conversation in one room. So and this is very interesting.
And I mean, I had an opportunity to talk to Dmitry yesterday. I had a pretty long, I think half an hour conversation or more. And I can assure you, this guy has done a lot of stuff in his career. He has built into like companies, he has sold companies, raised money. So if he's here, I think there's a good reason you should be here as well. Am I right?
Yeah. So I did a lot of things in my career. I'm myself startup CTO and founder. I did a lot of things in investments and raising capital. And now I'm leading a recruitment company, but we are working again with different startups and venture capitals and so on. So yeah, it's a very good place to be. I think if you are searching these real connections for Asian market, right? So if you want to expand to Asia, you want to bring different partners from Asia to Germany, this is really right place to be.
No, cool. Thank you so much. Then Dmitry, it was very nice talking with you again. It was very nice. I mean, if you are interested in what they do, I would be mentioning his LinkedIn and also the website of the company, so you can connect with them if you're recruiting or if you have looking for talent or something else. Just connect with them, see if there's a synergy, because sending a message doesn't cost you anything. Maybe there's a synergy. But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thanks a lot.
Now we have a very passionate Indonesian entrepreneur, Fauzal from Sampangan. I hope I said it right this time. So, I mean, I would have loved to say welcome to you in Indonesian, but Bahasa, I mean, my Bahasa is from Cipatan, Haria, to basically
Makan, go eat.
Go eat. I mean, we can talk about Indonesian food all day. That's not a problem. But we are here today, so let's quickly jump into it. So, what does Sampangan do?
Okay, so we started off as a waste management company. So we have a technology that is able to process all kinds of waste, organic, plastic, and into valuable products. But we fail in our first business model because apparently nobody wants to pay for waste processing services in Indonesia. Not the government, neither the businesses. So we pivoted. So now we are a manufacturing company, activated carbon manufacturing company. But we focus on creating high quality industrial materials, but from agriculture waste. Yeah, so that's basically what we do.
That's pretty cool. I mean, so now what stage are you at in terms of startup? Like, are you like seed, pre-seed, or are you already, you have a few customers, or how it is for you?
Yeah, so I think I would say we are at the seed stage. It took us maybe around 5 years to achieve product market fit. So now, since we pivoted and focused on creating commercial value to our customers, we recently signed a purchase contract with one of B2B industry customers. So I think that's an example. Once you focus on value creation, the customer will come.
I see that. No, that's true. I mean, and the thing is, the whole waste management sustainability is a huge topic. And I mean, I see, especially the Asian countries, they realize it and they're trying to solve it very actively. You know, like how can they reuse, for example, coconut shells or, skin of, for example, mango and so on. And which is a good sign. I mean, that's the whole point of sustainability, right? So how do you basically stop producing more waste?
Yeah.
Reuse waste. And how do you do it? Maybe you use products like yourself, like businesses like yourself, which can actually help businesses. So now I would love to understand your perspective of the whole AsiaBerlin Summit.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? How has the event been so far? Did it match your expectations, or how has it been?
Okay, so this is my very first time in AsiaBerlin Summit. And in fact, my very first time in Berlin on its own.
Okay.
Right. So I came in with an empty cup, so I have zero expectation. But boy, was I surprised what on the things that I experienced and the people that I meet here. So when I come here, my objective is very clear. I'm not looking for investments. I'm just looking to potentially sell my active carbon to European market with Berlin as an entry point. Right. So that was like what the initial objective. AsiaBerlin Summit is a very diverse group of people. So we have students, researchers, policymakers. So to be honest, I do not really find an immediate contact or relationship that will help me to achieve that. However, the secondary network I think is very promising, right? But I think what makes AsiaBerlin so special is not the transaction that happens, but the relationship that is built.
True. I mean, you never know, because the whole point is you shake a hand today, maybe it comes into action after 2 years, 5 years.
Exactly.
I mean, I have examples where I am good friends with someone, and professionally the relation was like utilized after like 10 years of friendship, because we couldn't find any synergy. But after 10 years, I was trying to look for something, and I saw, like, when I went to LinkedIn, oh,
This guy.
this guy works there. Oh, come on. I didn't even message him on LinkedIn. I picked up my phone, called him on his regular call. Hey, dude, we need to talk because you work there. So that's the whole point, right?
Yes.
But so you mentioned it's your first time in Berlin.
Yes.
So how do you like Berlin? I mean, it's the weather is pretty nice, to be honest, for November.
Yes.
So I think you're blessed, but I don't know if
Some
the weather will be good from tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know the
You
weather,
never know.
right? Beyond control. But I think generally, it has been a very pleasant experience, really. Like the first few days, the weather is not good. It's like coming from Indonesia, right? Sun is all day, every day, and like I realized like, I think we take the sun for granted, you know. But then like feeling the experience of winter, it gives the feeling of being more present in the moment to some degree. I think for me, for some reason, being in Berlin, time flows slower. For some reason.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's like me opposite. Like for me, time is like running through. Like
No, here is like I'm like super long. Whereas in Jakarta, it's like you know.
because that's your normal life, right? I mean,
Probably.
maybe you have like your everyday to do. For example, your friends, families. You know, like
Exactly. You wake up and suddenly it's
like,
nighttime.
yeah, it's the same for me in Berlin then.
Yeah, but like here, like you take a walk, enjoy, look at the small details of the city. You know, like these things, like
Yeah,
it's amazing.
No, yeah. But if you're exploring a new city, then everything is new, right? So even if you look at, for example, a new monument or something, for example, you would be like, "Wow, that's new, right?"
Yes.
I mean, and this building is pretty cool. Like I was when I saw the architecture, I was like, "Damn, that's pretty lit, right?" But now, what would be your biggest learning, or what would be your biggest take that you can actually take to with you from AsiaBerlin Summit for your business, or maybe personally, that you're like, "Hey, this thing is going to stay with me forever."
Yep. So I think like first of all, the moments created. I think it is very special. Like first and foremost, throughout, because like we're from the Indonesian delegation, right? So prior to this, like we don't really know each other that much. But because of the experience where we're here in the same space together, like the bond that was created throughout the whole thing is just irreplaceable. And I think it's something that's gonna last like even beyond after we get back to our normal day life. But also the new friends that we meet here in AsiaBerlin Summit, where you see people from all walks of life and all over the world, right? So, and these are, as you said, something that you never know. Like, for example, me and you having this conversation today, right? Maybe tomorrow, next year, in 10 years' time, we might be creating something amazing together. You never know.
I mean, you never know. There is a quote in German that I have seen happen to me as well. I don't remember the exact word, but it goes something like "Man sieht sich immer zweimal im Leben," which goes something like a person always sees the other person twice in life. So you will cross roads again. Maybe it's a venture, maybe it's something else.
Something else.
But it is always going to happen, right? I mean, there might be a probability. You might be a customer. You never know. I might be a customer.
Yes.
So, but that was pretty cool. But and I would like to say thank you in Indonesian. Terima kasih.
Sama-sama.
I mean, I hope I did okay, because
No, you're amazing.
I'm Indonesian by now.
More Indonesian than most Indonesian that I know, probably.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm honored. Maybe I should apply for the
Yeah,
passport.
let's go. Let's come back
go.
with us tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm going to the embassy, right?
Oh, sure. That's right.
Cool.
So nice.
No, but thank you so much.
Right.
It was really nice. It was cool talking with you. And the links also would be mentioned for Fauzal, LinkedIn, and also the website would be mentioned on the video. So if you want to connect or just ask them about the whole business, what do they do, or want to evaluate further, if it's something you want to explore, then just talk to them. I mean, he's a super cool dude. He's a super nice person. I mean, I really enjoyed my conversation, even though like 50% was about food, so you were talking about satay and so on, but it was pretty cool. But thank you so much again, and have a nice day, and I wish you a nice trip in Berlin.
And that brings us to the end of this very special episode of The Executives, a dialogue with Majid, recorded live from AsiaBerlin Summit. I hope you have enjoyed these insightful conversations with some of the most innovative minds across the world. Their experiences, perspectives, and visions truly highlight the power of collaboration and the exciting opportunities that lie ahead in the global innovation landscape. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Executives. Your support helps us continue bringing you inspiring stories and actionable insights from leaders across industries across the globe. Thank you for tuning in today. Until next time, this is Majid signing off.